Tunaangalia habari za siku na leo tunaangazia mpigo wa mitihani katika chuo kikuu cha Masai Mara. Wiki hii kumekuwa na mtihani ambao unaendelea katika chuo hicho, ambapo wanafunzi wote wamehimizwa kujitahidi ili kumaliza mtihani wao wa mwaka. Mimi wenu Elizabeth Atieno nikiripotia runinga ya News Guru. Good morning and welcome to our sportscast. I'm your host, Elizabeth Atieno. We today are having a game at Olentimama Stadium between the Plantech and the Total Spurs, whereas we have our reporter Ella Angira at the grounds to be giving us more updates. Ella, can you hear me?
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. I can get you. We are live here at Olentimama Stadium. At Olentimama Stadium, and there's a game between Total Spurs versus Plantech, and we're here with the captain. Hello, what is your name? And why are you passionate about football?
Because football brings people together, and it's a sport which is very wide, and it's lovable worldwide.
Yeah. And what are your expectations for today's game as the team's captain?
Today's game is not it's not easy.
Yeah.
The last time we played with the Plantech, we lost. We won 3-2, and we are planning today. We know we will win this match.
You are very prepared for the game, yeah?
100%.
Any comeback, sir?
Any comeback. Comeback.
I thank you. Now 2-1 during halftime, but Total Spurs have the lead. I'll continue giving you updates on the game. Angira Ella reporting for News Guru.
Hello, good evening. Here on the News Guru, we are with Felix Waweru. My listeners and viewers there, today we have a topic discussing about the drug addict and drug abuse. And with me, I have the guests, and I'll give them the chance to introduce themselves. On the further end,
good evening, everybody. My name is Kevin Nimfas.
Good evening, my name is Elizabeth Atieno. Good evening, my name is Faith Munala.
and thank you. Now, let's just start on first note. We have very different questions we want to ask about the guests on the drug abuse and drug addict. The first question is, what are your personal stories and impact on drug and drug abuse? Let's just start on the further end again.
Okay, so as I had said, my name is Kevin, and drug is a problem that is affecting our youth today. And my personal experience with one, it was in first year. I had just joined campus, and I can say that time I was still young and stupid, in other words, naive. And a roommate came na akaniambia, bro, cheki tuko na form ingine hapa. So it was this one, zi alikuwa amekuja na the package to the room. So akanishow, hii unachukua, then sijui unaiweka somewhere hapo tu chini. Inaitwa velo, ama inafaa kuitwaje?
Velo.
Yeah, velo. So that one is what he did. Inakufanya ukue high for some time, but now the after effects, drugs, it will make you feel nice, feel high, but then what really matters is what comes after. Now I spent the whole day, the following day nilikuwa nimekaa tu room na choo, tulikuwa hivi, tuliamua kukuwa mabeste. After that experience nilisema, this thing is not for me, ni watu wachache, iko na wenyewe, si ndio? So I decided, mimi na drugs, acha tukaachane tu kidogo. Yeah, so that is my experience.
Thank you. Now let's go to the next guest.
As we all know, in institutions right now, especially campus, a lot of people misuse drugs, especially in our teenage era and our youth era. So, my personal experience, I was in first year too. Yeah, it was with alcohol. Yeah, we had a party, a house party, and I attended, of course, a friend's party, birthday party, and they were walking around with tumblers and distributing alcohol, and I was like, I don't want to because I've never tried this. But again, I ended up taking it, and I was like, let me try because everybody here is doing it, so let me try. And hey, the next day, I woke up in the hospital. I didn't even recognize myself, and so from that day, no, I've never done any form of drugs because, yeah,
That's the experience.
the experience was not nice and it messed me up. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Now let's move to the next.
So for me, my personal experiences are quite a few, but let me just measure on some. My first drug to take was it's alcohol and spirits. So basically, it's a spirit, and I took Chrome, the famous one. It wasn't that bad because it was mixed and everything. So by the time it wasn't that bad. When I came to campus, I learned pot smoking and sijui ni kuchana. What is kuchana in English? Okay, basically it's just mirror. Mirror. So pot smoking and you see one advantage is that when you are stressed or anything, it goes when you take those drugs you are relieved. You're in another place. And yeah, it was nice. And the worst experience was one day we took and me and my friends went and we sat by the roadside and counted cards for 1.5 hours until we snapped out of it. Yes.
Mabugatti.
Yes, thank you. Those are the experience. Now, just to save on time, let's go to the second question. The second question will be about what are the causes and the contribution that you need to start the nini? The causes and the contribution of you to start the drug.
Okay, so personally, from my personal experience, the one that I just mentioned earlier, I say that by that time I was still young and stupid. You know, when you are naive, you can easily be lured into doing drugs. You can also, basically it's being lured. Then also number two, the environment. It was a new environment for me. Personally, sikuwa nimewahi toka our home county before I joined campus. Campus was what made me toka from my home county. So, ilikuwa zero grazing. But now, here I am in a whole new county, a whole new environment. So, it's a new place. So I decided, let me try something new. Ikaletwa nikasema, this is a new thing, it's a new place, let me try something new. So environment also ina contribute to mtu kutumia drugs. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Let's just move.
On my side, what contributed to drug use, not abuse because I never tried it again, so it was drug use. Whatever contributed on my side was peer pressure. I think because I went there, I've never tried, so innocent from home, zero grazing environment, and you're in campus, you feel like I've made it in life. So I see everybody take it, and I was like, maybe it's something that is normal, and I end up taking it. The only advice I have for the viewers today, especially teenagers and youth, never ever fall into peer pressure and use any type of drug because it's not something that we think. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Now let's move to the next guest.
For me, I think maybe peer pressure and stupidity, naivety, or let's say ignorance is a topic that is very much exhausted. Let's talk about stress. Mine was stress. You see, people are young. Just because someone is a teenager doesn't mean that that person cannot be stressed. You see, just because you're a teenager, people are in high school. For me personally, I was in high school, and I felt like my parents were not, also the male parent was not really being there for me, but he was being there for my my siblings. I felt unloved. I felt so I needed those drugs. I had to abuse them to make me go into a trance, to make me go into a place where there are no thoughts, there is no feelings, there are no pains.
Your own world.
Yeah, my own world where I can imagine me in my V8 just driving and just chilling and enjoying life. And yeah, that was it.
Now, when I ask you, what do you think the prevention and the education to fight this drug addict and abuse? What do you think?
I think I can go first. What I can advise is awareness. We create social awareness. We have games for the youth or anything of that sort to educate and create awareness for them about the effects of using drug and drug abuse. That is all I can say.
Okay, so for me, when we are talking about creating awareness, then there's also the point of avoiding some groups. And when you know that these people are abusing drugs, they're using this type of drug, then you as a person, you do not want to use that drug, but you know that when they will present it to you, you will not have that strength to refuse them. The best option is to avoid those people. So there's a song that says avoid those people. Yeah, avoid those people. Yeah. So now when you know that these people are obviously going to lead you into temptation, then you avoid such like groups. Unachana tu nao kabisa, unajitenganisha. Hata kama utaongea vibaji yako, but wewe you know what you're working towards, utakuwa umejisaidia a lot of problems. Yeah.
Very true. Manala, do you have something to add about it?
Yeah, I think I have maybe let's say two, but I'll be brief because of time. First, I feel like the awareness that has been set by, or one measure is I feel all the governors should adapt what the Kilifi governor has done and ban these drugs from getting into the countries. By banning them from getting into the counties, it's easier because you're banning them at grassroots level, and before we start banning at all the borders in Kenya and everything, it's easier for them, and you can see in media, in social media handles, people who are found, they're being caned and those things are being confiscated. That's a good measure. And another thing, I think just awareness and nini, it's not enough because we need to have talks, we need to have shows, we need to have more talks, and these youths need to be brought closer because we may think they are doing this for fun, but not all of them are doing this for fun and peer pressure. But I think most of them are having mental issues. That's why you find most of them falling into depression while in drugs. That's why you find most of them falling into just doing absurd things while they're in drugs. So I think we should come and have talks with them, encourage them, be with them so that they can share out what is really making them use the drugs.
Yeah, apart from the prevention, the past 3 months we have witnessed a very large number of youths. They have been into drugs, taken to the hospital, then after some months, after coming out from the hospital, they are back to the drug again. What do you think the best approach to deal with the treatment for this drug addicts?
Okay, let me start.
Yes.
A short story. I have in my village at home, I have a neighbor who has 9 children, and they are going from 20 something to 3 years old. And the first child dropped out of school because one, he saved and got a motorbike and started business. So when life got hard, he got into stealing and he was mobbed and beaten for some time. So he has now gone into drugs. And when you meet him, he just tells you, come here too, mbili too, you see. And I think a measure that can be taken is these people need to be kept busy. They need to be kept busy. Vocational training centers. He didn't finish school, but he should be kept busy. He is more than drugs. There is more to him than drugs. I'm sure he knows how to maybe craft something or draw or anything. Let us use their talents and let us identify them. Wow, my chiefs went into the nini, and then those people who dropped out of school and they can't go into Gumbaru schools were identified, wachukuliwe, and then they are taken and sharpen their skills. Yeah.
You can add about it.
Okay, I can say, let's talk about, when you take them to hospitals, then maybe that is when the person had overdosed or maybe something like that. Taking them to hospitals alone is not a solution. Then we have rehabilitation centers all around the country. that's also another option. You know, when they're taken to rehabilitation centers, then they are taught, or they are forced to reprogram their bodies so that they do not depend on that drug. You know, when they come out of there, if they go back to it again, then it means that now that is now not something they were forced into, but it's something that they love. And some people have passed through many challenges, through many problems for them to go back into that. But when you take them to hospitals, they will still have that urge to go back to do the drugs. Yeah.
One thing to add on is, before taking them to the rehabilitation centers, you can't take somebody who is not yet willing. One thing you have to do before taking them to the hospital and the rehabs, sit the persons down, talk to them, tell them the importance of getting the rehabilitations and the classes so that they can walk out of the drug abuse and addiction softly. Don't force them. Talk to them, talk the sense into them slowly, and with time they'll change.
Okay, yes. Thank you to those who are listening to us and watching us. There's a saying that says that kujikinga is better than, inasema?
Prevention is better than cure.
Is better than cure. So anyone watching us that is very addicted to drug, learn, and let's say you have learned from what you have said. Otherwise, that was for today. Let's tune in next week and we have more for you. Thank you.
Bye.
Audio Jungle.
Good evening and welcome to our business mentorship session with me, Elizabeth Atieno, as your host. We have a guest here who is a businessman. Let him introduce himself and then we start over.
Okay, thank you very much, Elizabeth. My name is Kevin Nyaga Mogo. I am an interior designing agent. I founded a company by the name Kevin Interior Designing Company. It's about making a house a home. You know, a house is not just about the people. It's about how it is built, how it is decorated. The question is about the house, how it is decorated, and of course the love that the people have for that house. That's why it's called a home. Yeah.
Thank you so much for accepting our request to be with us in our today's session. And before we start, we can ask a question so that some other people out there who are watching us who would love to engage in business, or maybe rather interior designing as a business sector, can know. How did you manage to start your business? With what capital?
Okay, first of all, interior design is about art, and me, I have passion for art. I love art since I was young. And before I came to own this company or to start this company, I used to work for a construction agency by the name Ripana. It's back at my home, and it is what motivated me more by seeing how my engineers were doing their work. So I decided, since they are more concerned with the exterior outlook, why not branch with them and do the interior outlook? Because what's more important is how it looks inside. That's what matters. So the money that I earned from the Ripana agents, as little as it was, I managed to save it and come up with a small, and then I started doing the job. For now, I don't have an office. That's what I can see. It's one of the challenges. So I do a mobile business. You just call me, I come, I see the house, how it looks like. And that's why I can be able to design how you want it to look. I can give you a forum and everything. But what I can say is that it's not an easy journey, since I don't even have an office.
From there, now that you've said that you are a mobile interior designer, and interior designing as a business itself, it needs a lot to start from as our viewers who want to start interior designing as a business. What challenges do you encounter having your mobile services? What challenges do you encounter when somebody wants a service and you have to go there and you have to check the house first in the first place, get back again some other time, now with your team or rather by yourself, to do whatever is needed there as a service?
First of all, as I said, It's just this is the beginning of this. It's just the beginning. So challenges are there, out of them. First of them being I can't afford an office. That means I'm not able to afford a high-skilled. Elizabeth, as much as I said, it takes little capital to start. At the back of the scene, this thing is very expensive. First of all, you must be able to plan your transports. I've just, maybe let's say you have just called me or told me you're from Nairobi. You want me to come there, check your house, and come up with ways of how to make it a home. I have to travel from wherever it be. I don't have a car, so I'll be relying most on public transport, which makes the time very difficult thing to achieve there. I cannot be able to be there on time, but I do try as much as possible to do that. Something else about this thing is competition. There is very high competition out there. Me, I'm just a mobile business owner. I do the business in a mobile way, so I cannot be able to afford a high quality commodities or team, just like my competitors. So that's another challenge. And another challenge I can say is teamwork and dedication. It's not easy to ask your employees to be able to travel all the way from, let's say Nairobi, let's say Kisii to Nairobi, without providing them means of communication, and they expect to be there and do the best they can. Yeah.
Our viewer who would want to start up a business, not necessarily interior design as a business itself, because business sector is wide and there are many other business types that you can love to start. Let us hear from our guest here today how, if you want to start a business, you can go about it, what you need to start up a business, and the advices that you can give to our viewers today about business, about how to start a business.
Thank you again, Elizabeth. And what I can tell them out there is that starting a business is not a walk in the park. First of all, you must have a passion. Just like I said, I had passion for art. Interest is about art. You must have passion, you must have dedication, and you must be determined. And another thing is that when you start a business, don't look or don't aim at achieving profits, but about solving a problem. Like me, I decided to solve a problem on interior designing, since most people are just concerned with outlook, not the interior look. That's for me. The other thing, you must also have support. Like for me, I have a lot of family and friends support. They even help me when I need more labor or more manpower. They're always there. And also you must have mentors or people to guide you, who have already been there where you are now. Because it's not easy to do this thing alone, especially when you are inexperienced.
Thank you so much. To our viewer who would want to start up a business, you've heard from our guest today. It needs you to have passion, come up with a business idea, and then you have to have manpower. You have to have support from any other place for your business to stand strong. And again, it's not all about making profits. At some point, you've had it comes with some challenges and negativity. You can make a loss or rather profit. It all depends with what you want to do and what you have interest in. Thank you for being our guest today. And to our viewers, thank you for watching. Next time in our business mentorship session. Thank you for watching. Bye.